The first time I met you face to face was on September 11, 2002. And as you'll recall, we were sitting on a building across from that awful hole in the ground that once held the Twin Towers. And at the time, yes, I can remember you describing to us that it took that event to totally transform you into an American. Tell us why.
Well, I had by then lived about a quarter of a century in the United States with a green card, a platinum green card, in fact. It was so old that it didn't run out. They now need to be renewed. I had a European Union passport, had an American wife, American children, 3 of them. I thought I could carry on the rest of my life like this, being, if you like, an Anglo-American or an Englishman in America. But I began to feel that I was, in a sense, cheating on my dues a bit. That what was being attacked in America was what I liked about it. Many things that I didn't, that I'd been leading critic of, in fact. Those aspects were, in some people's minds, a good enough excuse for an attack on it to be made, but not me. I thought what is really being attacked here is the pluralism, the openness, in some ways the hedonism, if you like, the idea of the pursuit of happiness. All of these things, as well as my favorite city in all of the world, New York. I, if you like, took it personally, not ashamed to put it like that. And it was really that form of initial solidarity plus a revulsion for the anti-Americanism that was being put around so cheaply at the time, that I realized I couldn't bear any argument that made the assumption that the United States had invited or let alone deserved this atrocity. And I also realized that as well as involving the things that I like or love, it also very much conscripted in one thing all the things that I hate. Theocracy, cult of violence, anti-Jewish paranoia, worship of a leader, the supreme sheikh. All of this sort of hideous imagery, which I summarized in a column I wrote at the time as fascism with an Islamic face, which has contracted a bit into an expression I don't like, Islamofascism, for which I'm sometimes blamed. But if you can't say fascism with an Islamic face every time, so shorthands do occur. So I decided to take out the papers of citizenship.
Let's talk briefly about that day, September 11, 2001.
Yes.
You described it very tellingly soon afterwards, if not on the day, as it being as if Charles Manson had been made God for a day.
Mm. Yes, I remember thinking that as I watched this huge cloud of filth emerge from the wreckage. As the towers sank, up came this sort of billowing cloud of ordure and wreckage, and including the shredded remains of about 3,000 of my fellow creatures. This is a really evil-looking cloud, and there was a shot from a helicopter above Manhattan showing it sort of spreading on this really beautiful day all across the southern tip of my favorite island, and I thought, it's as if Charles Manson's giving orders today. Yeah.
The other...
that's how it felt. I think about it every day, still.
Take yourself back then to watching it, because one of the most horrific images, and I think you actually described this as one of the most horrific images that still remains in your head that you've ever seen, and that is the burning people falling, or jumping in fact, from the towers before they collapsed.
Yes. Yes, hesitating between jumping to their deaths or being burned alive, and getting both, jumping while burning. And a terrible little shrill cry that was overheard on the streets of Greenwich Village by a school teacher who was trying to escort some children along the sidewalk, and one of them pointing and saying, "Look, teacher, the birds are on fire." a childish attempt to rationalize what was going on and make sense of it, or if you like to, wrong word in a way, but to humanize it. That stayed in my mind as well, still does.